Hello, I've got on my Duck Duck Goose cardigan, and it's from my Duck Duck Goose cardigans pattern. There's 25 different birds that you can choose from in the pattern, and then they can go in the pockets. So right now I'm just crocheting some Valentine's themed dresses. This is like the top part of the dress, and I'm gonna finish up this one and this other one, I think, and then possibly start on a third one. Hello. I've got on my Canada Goose cardigan from my Duck Duck Goose cardigans pattern. All different 25 birds are included in that pattern. So it's pretty cool. They all have like scientific facts about the species, and you can choose any of them to go in the pockets of the cardigan. And I have several other patterns like that. I have Oh My Fungi, hi, with different types of mushrooms. I have one with flowers called Pocket Full of Posies cardigans. I have one with plants called Garden Variety cardigans. I did one with different carnivores, big cats, bears, and big dogs. It's called Lions, Tigers, and Bears. I'm from the United States. I don't really want to be called baby. I'm just here to make crochet. So if you're interested in my business, that's great. But I'm making a Valentine's themed dress. This is the top part of the dress. I've made several dresses like this. It's called a baby doll dress. It's not underwear, that's stupid. Yes, I do sell my work. I have everything available on autumnolive.com. There's currently some crochet sweaters, some denim jackets with patches sewn on, crochet patches, and some of these baby doll dresses that I've been making. Hi! Thank you. Yeah, that pattern was really fun to make because I did research on the different species, and so there's 25 different species. It's called the Duck Duck Goose Cardigans pattern. I'm wearing the one with the Canada geese. Um, So yeah, I really like making those and learning about the different species. I have one with mushrooms, flowers, plants, carnivores. The next one, I've just started doing the research for it. It's going to be different types of fish, sea creatures. That's going to be called Go Fish Cardigans Pattern. So I'm really excited for that. I always make one of these tapestries when I do those patterns, so I have them hanging up all over my house. Is that a Portlandia reference? I love that show. That was like such a cool bit. When I first put this pattern out, like 2 years ago, maybe it was almost 3 years ago, I did a TikTok using that sound, but I don't think too many people saw it. So I'm making a dress top. It's like, well, this is the head hole. So it's kind of like a poncho, but then it'll have like, it'll be sewn around the sides and then it'll have fabric skirt. I've made several different dresses. I have a free pattern out for them and a tutorial, but they're really cool. I just learned how to sew last year, so it's a pretty simple sewing project, and the first clothing item that the first and only clothing item that I've sewn with a machine. Yes, it will have pockets. It'll have pockets in the fabric part, which is awesome. You could make it without pockets, and that might be a little simpler, but it's pretty easy to add the pockets, so I figured why not. And they're really useful, so yeah, this is going to be like one of 3 different Valentine's themed dresses. This is the fabric that I'm going to use. It's got flowers and bees on it. And yeah, I got that from a thrift store, and I got this yarn from a thrift store as well. definitely does look like a poncho at first. It looks really shapeless at the top, but I think it's really cool. There's room for like layering underneath, long sleeves or like a collared shirt. Um, yeah, I started making these like in August, September. I made a lot of different fall themed ones and Halloween themed ones. And then I made a few holiday, winter, Christmas themed ones. But this one, the top is just going to be plain with this speckled color, but there's going to be one, it's going to be white with different like lipstick colors, like kisses motifs, and then another one will be coral, and it'll say XOXO. I would like to do some with some of these graphics, like the birds and stuff. Thank you. I only recently got this studio room. So I try to make it like cozy, but also, you know, clean and inspiring to work in. My favorite bird, you know, I don't really know. I didn't have a favorite bird going into this, and I certainly didn't expect to come up with 25 different ones to go on the cardigans. And since then, I've thought of like 25 other birds that I didn't even include in the beginning, like, I don't know, a toucan, ostrich, etc. I don't know. I like parrots, I guess. And I like geese. I guess that's why I chose to put a Canada goose on this one that I'm wearing. If I had to choose from those, I would probably choose the mallard, because it's hard to see. I don't know if you can even see it at all, but the white stripe on the neck, I use like a fuzzy white yarn, so it kind of looks like feathery. And then I had this metallic type of green yarn that I used for the head. And I also made a vest with mallards in it with the same details, so came out really cute. This is the last row, I think, and then I'm gonna cut the yarn and sew up the sides. I think the flamingo also came out really cool. And the peacocks. I have so many more variations of these that I want to do. Like I said, the next one I do is going to be sea creatures, which I actually ended up splitting that up into like 2 versions, because there's going to be like the version with fish and fish related things like sharks and seahorses, um, and crustaceans. But then there's so many sea animals that I'm going to do another one with like sea mammals. Thank you. Sea mammals and semi-aquatic animals like hippo and yeah, I don't know. It was just too many to fit 25 in one, because I want to be able to put like a couple different, you know, several types of fish and several types of whatever. And then I'm just weaving in the end here from this piece of yarn. Hi. Yeah, yesterday I had the mushroom tapestry up on the wall, but they're the same width, so I can easily like replace it and switch out which tapestry I want. Today I'm wearing my Canada Goose cardigan, so I wanted to put up the birds as a background. Okay, now I've seamed up the other side of this and I'm just weaving in that end. I love the construction of this dress top because there's only 2 ends to weave in if you made it plain with one piece of yarn. Hi. I'm still working on this, but I am just finishing up. I've just finished and attached the sides together. So now that is like the dress top, the sleeve holes and the head hole. And I'm going to just quickly sew in my label. This is my label with my brand on it. I always put those into my finished pieces. Thank you. It'll look even better once I sew the skirt to it, but I'm going to wait till all of the crochet parts are done. I was not sure what to say about that. I don't take baths too often. They are nice. I haven't really tried any of like the bath bombs or any type of stuff like that. I didn't kill that fox. It's just fake. I crocheted it. I tried to make it look realistic. I would not do like any kind of purchasing of a real animal. I just wanted to kind of crochet a fake one. I don't know, the hardest thing to crochet lately has been that fox because the yarn is so furry that I can't see the stitches. So you have to like go by feel and yeah, it's really hard to see what you're doing. So that's been the most difficult thing. And I don't know, I think it just depends what you find difficult, like with these color changing birds and stuff. That's a lot of counting, like every row you have to pay attention and count the colors and stuff, so that's a little bit time consuming. I find crocheting like small plushies is kind of hard on my hands because you have to like make small tight stitches, and so I don't really make those very much anymore. So I feel like it's just different, depends on the project. Some of it's harder physically, some of it's harder, you know, takes more brain power. Anything that's like, a lot of what I make, I like to make things that are just like with the sweater, once you make the bottom of it, and if you're not doing like color work, it's just straight up. So like there's no counting after that, there's no increases, no decreases. So that's my favorite type, because then you can just watch TV or whatever and you don't have to worry, you can just relax and crochet. Okay, so I finished using up this yarn. This is what I had left. I finished all the rows I needed to, but that was a really close call because this is not very much left, so I easily could have run out. I'm glad that I didn't. So I'm just gonna wrap this up for later, put it with my scraps. tiny little ball of yarn. I will be right back. I'm back. The black bird, that's like a raven or a crow. I got some grapes. I had to take my dogs out really quick. Okay. Now I'm going to continue working on this peach color top. Okay, this is the fabric for the other one, so I'm going to put that together. And then in a few days, once I'm done crocheting all of these, I will get back on here and sew them together. So I'm going to put this to the side. And then this, once again, it's going to be half pastel bears and half purple. And then it's going to have this peach colored top. And that's like a birthday dress for me. And on this one, I'm a little under halfway done with the back. Yeah, I don't know what you mean, crochet with bids. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. Beads? Okay. I don't think that I've ever tried to crochet with beads. I did make a jester costume, and so I strung jingle bells onto the yarn before I was working with it. So the whole time I'm crocheting the sweater, it's jingling all the different bells on the yarn. I could have sewn the bells on afterwards, but I didn't want to deal with that, so I figured it would be easier to just string them onto the yarn before I started working on it. And so as I went, I would like leave them in place and then keep going and then leave another one where I wanted it. And yeah, I wouldn't say that it was too difficult to do that. I'm not sure what you were doing with beads, but I can see how that would be difficult. Anything, you know, it's just adding another element to the project. Especially if it's something you haven't made before, like with the jester sweater, it was the same sweater design that I've made 30 times already. So at least I knew what I was doing, and I was just adding in some jingle bells. But I've seen lots of cool beaded stuff. I would like to work with it sometime. Thank you. Yeah, the second way is the right spelling. Yeah, I did two different ones, the red one and the blue one. We had two parrots when I was younger. I don't remember because I was too young, but apparently they would, you know, fly all over the apartment, and they were actually friends with the cat. I know cats usually eat birds, but I guess the parrots were pretty big and could, you know, they could dominate the cat, so the cat didn't bother trying to hurt them. So they would actually, you know, hang out together. There's a picture somewhere in one of my baby albums of the cat and the parrot just looking out the window together. I like all the ones that I used fluffy yarn for. I think it makes it really fun. Oh, wow. That's great. I think crocodiles are so cute. I definitely, I have so many ideas in mind for these. I'm gonna do sea creatures next. I'm actually gonna do two separate ones, so it's actually gonna be like 50 sea creatures. One will be like fish, and one will be sea mammals like dolphins and seals, walrus, and stuff. Um, so that's 50 sea creatures. That's crazy. But I also would love to do one with reptiles, with like turtles, lizards, snakes, crocodiles. I have to do one with rodents, with mice, rats, capybara. Very excited. It's very time consuming to design them all. So I'll probably only be able to make like probably 3 more of these patterns this year, maybe 4. But I definitely want to, I think I'm gonna try to have the sea creatures ready by February 25th. I think that's gonna be, I'm gonna go ahead and give myself a goal of that date to try to have it ready. And since it's already been like tested and I'll test all the graphics, it should be just ready to go on that date. So I'm looking forward to that and hope that I can complete it in that time frame. And then I'll probably try to release the second edition. So the first one will be called Go Fish Cardigans, and it'll have like fish, sharks, shrimp, lobster. And then 2 months later, I will have the other one hopefully ready, and that one is going to be called, I'm thinking like Oh Whale Cardigans. Either that or Sea Legs Cardigans. I haven't decided yet, but typically I like to name them after like jokes or games, or like a pun, a funny saying or something. So like Go Fish is a game, Duck Duck Goose is a game, and then Oh My Fungi is neither, but it's like, I guess it's not really a pun either, but it has a nice ring to it. Hello. I'm crocheting a dress. Hi, it's 12:40 p.m. where I am. Where are you? In Europe? should buy something from my website, autumnolive.com. I'm not sure what that says. I'm sorry. Thank you. Let's see. This probably maybe 6 hours. This is going to be the top of a dress. So that's the head hole. This is one top that's finished. Takes about 5 or 6 hours when they're plain. If I add color work or color changes to make images like that, it would take more like 8 hours probably. But yeah, and then so that's the top, and then I sew on a fabric skirt. And these are just Valentine's themed dresses that I'm doing. I'm planning to do about 3 different Valentine's themed dresses. So far, this is about 4 hours of work, and I should be done with this side within another hour or so. But this sweater that I'm wearing, this one probably took about 20 hours to make, especially like the parts with the color changing. That probably took like 1 or 2 hours just to do the image. This is my full-time job. I did start crocheting about 15 years ago, and then I started to design clothes about 5 years ago. So this is my full-time job now, between making patterns and selling patterns. I have free patterns. I sell a lot of the finished work that I do make. I've done a few pop-up markets. I would like to do more this year. So yeah, it's more than a hobby, but it started out as a hobby. And when I was younger, I would make like stuffed animals for friends and family, and I never really did make clothes until I started designing them in 2020. So I feel like that's what made me really like the art of it more when I started making clothes, because I don't really like making little stuffed animals. I did crochet that fox just last month, so that's not real. That is just fake. And I crocheted that, and it's got like a lot of realistic detail on it and stuff, so that was pretty fun. But usually what I make is clothing and patterns for almost all the clothing that I make. And so with this dress, once I make this part in 5 or 6 hours, then it probably takes another 2 or 3 hours to cut the fabric and sew the skirt together and stuff. So I would say that the dresses take about 8 to 10 hours total, depending on the amount of detail. Thank you. Yeah, I really like to feel productive, so. And it started out that I was just going to crochet clothes for my own wardrobe, and I wanted to crochet things that I found enjoyable, like, you know, birds in the pockets and stuff. But then people were interested in the patterns for them, so I figured that I would provide such patterns. Yeah, this is really good for stress. Sometimes I stress myself out trying to finish something in a certain time, but it's nice to sit and relax and work on it, especially if it's something simple, just back and forth across. Thank you. This is going to be a dress. It doesn't look like much before it's put together. Um, and thank you, you're welcome. I love to hear that you adore what you make. Um, I always love to hear when people are inspired by my patterns, and I've even heard a couple times that people started crocheting because of my patterns, so that is quite the compliment. Last year, I didn't release too many patterns because I was just really busy with other stuff. But this year, I really want to try to get back into releasing a pattern like every month or every other month. Um, it's going to be a lot of work, but it's really rewarding um, to see all new patterns, especially because I have so many on my list that I want to make. So I don't know if you were here when I was talking about the next one I want to do here is sea creatures, but there's so many different sea creatures that I'm going to need to split it up into two different patterns. So it's going to be 25 and 25 to make 50 total sea creatures. It's going to be like fish, sharks, crustaceans, and the other one is going to be and jellyfish and stuff. And the other one is going to be more like sea mammals and semi-aquatic animals. So like dolphins, whales, seals, walrus, sea otter, hippopotamus, stuff like that. Um, so I'm really excited about those. I think probably February and April, I'm gonna try to have them done at those times. Thank you. I'm really excited too. I was just doing some research last night on these different sea animals. At first it was just going to be one pattern, but I was like, there's way too many to just try to squeeze it all into 25. Which, looking back on the birds, I've thought of at least like 15 more birds that I could have done. So I may even one day make a second edition of bird patterns. But there's just so many more on my list. I want to do dinosaurs too one day, reptiles, rodents, domestic cats. I did wild cats on my lions, tigers, and bears. So all kinds of wild cats and different carnivores. But you know, people love their domestic cats, so I really want to do that. And then of course dogs, which I think that's gonna require two as well. So I think like probably 50 total domestic dogs. But yeah, there's so many that I want to do. So I'm thinking of just switching up here for a moment. Changing the angle for a second. Hi again. Oh wow, that's sad. It's really sad when people take animals that aren't supposed to be pets, um, because they never are gonna know how to treat them right. So I'm glad he's got a better home now. When I was in high school, I had to dissect a shark, which was really sad. We had the option of dissecting a pig or a worm or a frog or a shark. And my group voted to dissect a shark. And so that was kind of crazy. It was like a pretty big shark. You know, maybe like 3 feet long. I guess it was like a baby shark, but I was surprised that that was one of the options to dissect. Hi, welcome back. I just thought I would try something different. I'm almost done with this piece, so we'll be able to see up close, seaming it together and adding in the name tag. And then once I finish this piece, I'll probably get off of here for today. And then tomorrow I'll be working on the next one. The egg character from Sanrio is called Gudetama. I'm pretty sure that it translates to lazy egg. Yes, I made a jacket. It's Gouda Tama. Gudeetama. Yeah. And then somebody bought that jacket, so that was really exciting. That was probably my favorite from the collection of jackets that I made. Okay, 2 more rows on this one, and then I will cut the yarn and seam up the sides. I am working as fast as I can on this stuff. I've got these 4 Valentine's dresses that I want to get done before February. I want to make the sea creatures pattern really soon. I'm working on that polar bear blanket, so I want to release the free pattern for that. I have a pop-up that I'm doing in 5 days. Hi. So I'm constantly busy. I have a bunch of other jackets that I thrifted. So I might do another collection of jackets like in a month or two. Because I just made a bunch of jackets, and then I need to make the dresses, and then I'm gonna need to make a whole nother tapestry on the wall for the sea creatures, as well as a cardigan with sea creatures in it to show an example of what you can make with all the different, it'll be like the birds, but it'll be sea creatures. So I need to make a whole cardigan with that. So I'm kind of trying to balance my time. I do have a lot of jackets to work with, but I'm probably going to hold off on doing another jacket collection for probably like another month or two. Because I get really overwhelmed when I have multiple things going on. And right now I have more things going on than I'd like to. So I need to wrap some of it up and finish up with some stuff before starting any new collections. Q&A. Well, people are free to ask me anything on here anytime that I'm live. A lot of times I put in the description, ask me anything. So I don't know. Sometimes people come and ask stuff. Sometimes people come in and tell me they want to get married to me and look at my feet, So you're always free to ask me anything. Okay, this is the last row. No, I didn't see anything like that. That is, there you can see his name. Okay, so now I have finished the front and back of this dress top, and I'm just going to connect the side seams. No, I didn't see that one either. I don't really watch many YouTube videos. Now I'm just going to weave in this end. I like to use a sharp needle and just go back and forth 3 times through the same fiber and just get it done in 30 seconds. And the other side. This is what I love about these dresses, is that when you don't change colors or anything, it's only these 2 ends, the beginning and the end, and then you can use the starting tail and the ending tail to connect the 2 pieces. And it's super simple. Very beginner friendly project. These baby doll dresses. I just learned how to sew last year. This is the first thing that I have been sewing. So it's beginner friendly crochet and sewing. If you're interested, there is a free tutorial and a free written pattern on autumnolive.com. And then switching back to the smaller needle to weave in this last end. And then I'm going to sew in my logo tag. And then I will be done with this second dress top, which is super exciting. A lot of people find it very hard to weave in ends, which it is when you have like a ton of them, but I feel like it's not that bad, especially if you do it as you go along, especially with bigger projects. I mean, it's really fast, so. I learned this trick a long time ago. This is how I always tie thread when I'm doing a something that's hand sewn. You just take the needle, hold the thread in the same finger as the needle, wrap it around several times, and then you can just slide that all the way to the end, and there you have a knot. Here's my satin tag. I'm just going to find the middle here. Yep, I will try to be on here again tomorrow. I think I'm going to start on another Valentine's dress, probably the white one with the little kisses all over it. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being respectful on here. Some people are not respectful, which is very unfortunate, but I don't really care. That's not going to make me stop. Yeah, that's true. A lot of people think knitting and crocheting is the same thing, but you know, I can understand not knowing if you haven't done either one. Okay, and there is another dress top done. And once again, I'll show you. This is the fabric. The skirt is going to be half purple, half teddy bears. And this is going to be the top. So I think it's really cute. This one's going to be mine. It's going to be my birthday dress because my birthday is next month, Feb 11. And I am excited to make this dress. So thank you so much for watching. I have free patterns, shoppable patterns, and finished pieces available on autumnolive.com. And I will see you on here tomorrow.